All right, Bill. I had some cancellations of inspections, and I asked the people, just curious, why you cancel them. They're like, hey, you know what? Over the weekend, we went to a new build center, and it was a better deal so than existing home.
Yep.
And I'm like, really? And I dug into it because I go into build centers all the time because I do new construction. Believe it or not, I find a lot of problems with new construction.
Of course, you're going to find every problem in any house you.
I just did a sewer scope in one of them, and they had a collapsed line. Brand new house.
We've talked about that how many times that you generally I find more issues in sewers for new construction than I do the old stuff.
True, true. But I was surprised that these people, because some of the homes that they were going to buy were nice homes. But at the end of the day, after I did my research, new construction, especially here in Florida, I know nationally, according to some data, what is it, 1 in 4 homes?
Roughly, yeah, like 27%.
1 in 4 homes sold in the United States nationally is new construction.
Right, and that doesn't mean it's necessarily a build center either. Right. Because, like, for instance, there's no build center in St. Pete, but there's new construction.
Right, because there's no area to build the
whole because it's already built out. I mean, it's line, one of the oldest cities in the county.
But it's becoming to the point that I'm like, after doing my research and saying, is like, maybe me personally, I wouldn't buy new construction, and I'll list why. But
oh boy,
Phil already knows. Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna go get a drink of water while you go on that rant, and I will be right back.
yeah, just like I have to say it. I have to say it.
Oh no!
Zero lot lines. I can't take 10 feet apart. Gates. And it takes forever to go. Some of these subdivisions are so big that it literally takes 10 minutes to get out of a subdivision.
He's talking about my neighborhood.
Okay.
Jesus.
But here, okay, let's get back to the subject. Now, they're putting a hurting on existing homes.
Of course they are.
But more than after I dug into this. But we're going to show you guys towards the end of this video on how to run the numbers and the right way to do it. When it comes, Bill will explain because he does a lot of new construction. But the way to run the numbers to actually make sense at the end of the day, if you're in the market for buying a house anywhere in the United States, but we're going to talk about Florida too. There's a certain way you should do it, okay? And if you think just going into a build center, talking to one of their salespeople, and just signing some papers, that's the wrong way of doing it. I'll tell you right now. And I'll tell you why, and I'll give you a story about it too. But here, Florida, in the meantime, if you like this kind of content, can't forget, I know I ask all the time, but consider subscribing. It really does help out the channel. It's greatly appreciated. And if you need a real estate agent for new construction or existing homes, my phone number is below. All right. So let's talk about this. So we have a place to start from. Florida medium closed prices around $408,000 to $410,000 as of Q3 2025. Okay, so that's actually slightly down from last year.
Yep. Yeah, we were at 420.
Inventory in Florida has grown a lot. One report shows about 127,000 active listings in Q3 of 2025. That's up 24 to 25% year over year, giving buyers more options on what to buy. We have to lay out down.
You're waiting for me to have a reaction to that.
But how about this one? All right, another analysis in Florida has only 6.7% of the U.S. population basically is in Florida. So Florida only has 6.7%, but we have roughly about 50% of all active listings right now. That's freaking insane.
That makes sense. I'm just thinking about what transpired last year and what's coming on. What inventory is coming online. Yes, we do have a ton of inventory, but where we see, look at the Christmas tree. No pun intended, because we're getting into the holiday season.
Right.
But like the Christmas tree is all the green dots when you go on any platform. Where do you see all the green dots?
Yeah.
The coast.
Yeah, because we had hurricanes. Like Miami, Orlando, Jacksonville, Tampa are all above 6 months of supply.
Yep.
Okay? That's a classic market territory. And where did I get this information from? The New York Post, okay, of anything. Nationally, new construction is a huge part of what's for sale. Historically, new single-family homes are only 10 to 12% of inventory. Now, in some areas, they're up to 1/3. Okay, so some areas, new construction is doubling. I know right now, Okay, and I looked at the listing just locally over here, existing homes, and I've been at these build centers every week now lately. I've been some in Dade City, Wesley Chapel, and I'm walking into these, and these people are trying. These builders are trying to sell these things by the end of November and close by the end of December to make their numbers. And the freaking deals that they're giving are like, how do you even compete with that?
You don't. This is why I tell everybody to go to the new. If you've got a new build center and you can drive another 15, 20 minutes for your commute to work and whatnot, and it works. If you're looking for a deal, that's where you go.
Yeah, but what happens after January? I don't think the prices. I don't think they're going to drop those deals. I think
they're going to continue on. They're not going to
they're
stop the
just
deals.
saying they're just saying that right now.
What they want is they want to make the biggest push before they've already finished. Look, they've already closed out their fiscal year, right? Because we close that out in October. So, but they want to get this inventory off the books. They don't want to carry anything over. They need to get the inventory that's sitting there that they've already started building. Because what the builders do here is they start, once they finish a certain amount, they take another block and then they start building them, another group. I won't say block so there's no confusion, but another group of homes. And then they start building those. They get the foundations laid and things like that. That way, like for instance, when we went into the build center and we just closed on the one the other day, that one was they were probably 55-ish, 60% completed by the time it went under contract. But that one's now pushed to the front because that closes December 12th.
Right.
It'll get its CO. So that one's ready. It's already under contract. We put it under contract, and then it's going to close December 12th. And then they'll make that mark because they need it to be done before the end of the year, and the holidays are coming.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at some stats. Now, is it cheaper to buy new construction? So I had to pull those numbers because that's what people are going to ask. Nationwide, quarter 2, 2025, okay, for new construction. Actually, new construction dropped about 7.8%. So the prices actually of some new constructions have dropped, but new homes are still averaging about 450,800. Existing homes about 418,300. That's from Florida Realtors. Okay, so if you look at it on paper, in April 2025, the median sale price of new homes in the U.S. was $407,200, while existing homes sold at $414,000, meaning the typical resale was actually about $7,000 more expensive than a new build, according to Florida Realtors. So, right there, and this is not us. Stats change, but this is not us saying, oh, we assume this, okay? We're pulling some data. Summer 2025, another report showed that new homes around 401,800 versus existing at 435,300. Again, new builds coming out cheaper than resale. So these are two different studies that came out. All right, and the whole thing too is, when people are doing existing homes and they're selling it, they try to keep a higher price because they're emotionally attached to the house. Okay, and talk about the philosophy of build centers and building companies. What is their philosophy? They don't. It's a product.
That's a number. They could care less. That's why they build the way they build. They put the product out. These are our numbers. Take it or leave it. That's just the way it's all about numbers for them. It's the bottom line. And when you're selling your house and it's your home, that's the key term. It's your home. There's emotion involved with it. There's time. It's yours. It's not just something you walked into today. And the builder, like I said, business versus personal. It's hard. It really is. And it's hard to just walk in and go, this is a business transaction. When you're selling your house, it is a business transaction. And I had a call with somebody, and it just kind of illustrated the fact. They go, well, look, we painted the living room. It's no longer the builder grade paint, right? Okay, cool. We added new shelves to the closet. Instead of the wires, they took out and they put regular bars in. Okay, so they think that adds a ton of value to come up, to put that doesn't add monetary value. That adds like a visual appeal
Yeah.
value.
Yeah, I know
You
what you're
know,
saying, yeah.
it's not something that I can go, oh, well, that's going to increase you by like $10,000. It's cabinetry. You spent $1,000 on it.
Yeah.
You know, if you have built-in systems and a walk-in closet, different story. But again, you may have spent $8,000 on it. That doesn't equate to $8,000 of equity in your home. It just doesn't work like that. Just like if you put a pool in and it cost you $100,000, your home did not go up in value by $100,000. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But let's talk about the elephant in the room with these people, that the people are just going to construction sites. So they go in there, they got pre-approved because they told me the story. They said, listen, we got 6.375 for the other house pre-approval. We walked into the build center and they literally gave them 4.25 or something like that. Was it
4.25.
Yeah, 4.25. They gave them closing costs, like something ridiculous,
16,000.
16,000, and upgrades to the house.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be dependent on what was.
So they're like, their mortgage payment went down
Yep.
quite a bit.
Yep.
And then they went and they got insurance quote for the new house compared to
It's going to be lower
the
because
older.
it's a brand new house.
It was dramatically lower. Okay. Then with the house that they were going to buy, we already knew that the AC was a little bit older, the water heater was a little bit older, you know, and the panel was okay, but you know, he wanted to put a jacuzzi in and he would have to go up to 200 amps. That's all done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he's like, Jimmy, yes, I like the trees in the yard and I like the extra 8 feet between the houses. 10 feet.
Nobody said that to you, Jimmy.
I had to throw that one in.
I know you well. Nobody said that to you.
But
oh, Jimmy, look, that's extra 10 feet.
yeah, but at the same time is like I couldn't argue with him. I just couldn't.
Well, no. Why? How could you?
I couldn't argue with him.
Like, I get it. You'll never move into a new construction house. I understand that. But you're not moving anyway, so.
No, I'm not moving.
You're not going anywhere. But it's. How do you, this is the thing. Can you compete? So when you're listing your house, practical advice, if you list your house and you think you're going to go with aspirational pricing and you're a mile or two down the street from a new construction center,
so
that's going to be hard.
So their numbers, okay, they were going to say this, they did a $350,000 mortgage, okay, and say, I'm just throw some numbers out to keep it simple. Let's say somebody's paying 7%, okay, that's $2,330 a month, okay? If the builder, if they buy the rate down to 5%, okay, the payment is...
If the builder buys the rate down, not you.
The builder
Big
buys
difference.
the, yeah,
Big
the builder
difference.
buys the rate down because they buy it wholesale. $1,880. That's a big savings. That's around $450 a month, and that's about $5,000 a year. So if you really think about that, $5,000 a year.
Plus your amortization over the...
Yeah.
Even though everybody says it's their forever home, the 7 to 10 years that you're going to be there. That's big money.
And the Florida, you know, the Florida insurance, like we talked about, is brutal. But here's one of the things that I noticed with this builder, and they're doing all the roofs. They're doing hip roofs. Okay, they're having some gables. You know, a hip roof is like a pyramid, and but they have some gable. But these builders know that make it at least 90% hip to get the insurance qualifications.
Yeah,
and they know to put straps in there because that's code.
It's code. Yeah.
You know, they know, you know, the right windows, so it's upgraded to the latest. So
well, it's all the code. You're not having to retrofit straps or clips. You know what I mean? You got a brand new roof. You have so many uphill battles on resale versus new construction. It's hard if you've got it. That's why I've even said it in a few other videos. If you can do it, go for it.
So here's a survey, okay, it was a HIPPO survey in 2025. 79% of new construction homeowners say they feel very prepared for natural disasters, okay, versus 28% for existing homeowners.
Interesting.
So people that have new construction, like, yeah, I'm ready for, 28% of people that buy existing homes. Newer codes, impact windows, stronger roofs, you know, lower repair risk than a 10-year-old, you know.
Yeah, and impact windows aren't code everywhere in Florida, but...
No, but a lot of these build centers will give you shutters or they'll give you something, you know. But it's just if you put everything down on paper, you know, with the new appliances, everything's under warranty, you
It's
know,
a lot
and
of
everything.
benefits.
I don't even know how an existing home could.
Okay, well, let's not be dramatic.
I'm not being dramatic. You know,
Existing homes sell every single day
they
because
do
not
sell.
everybody
Could go to new
could go to new
construction.
construction.
Yeah, but I'm talking about over here, like with certain people that I know right now. If they say, "Hey, Jimmy, should I go buy in this neighborhood? Should I go buy in this neighborhood?" Like I'm doing a series. What does a $300,000 house look like? 400,000, 500, 600,000. Okay, and I went to a $300,000 house, and I'm looking around, and it was like 320. And I'm like, wow, this house needs a lot of freaking work. Maybe another 50, 60,000. The windows are old, Jocelyn windows, and the roof is old and gators. Then I just happened to go to a new construction down in Dade City just the other day. Okay. And that house was 320,000. Okay. With a little more square footage. So you're talking about brand new. And you're talking about, yeah, one house was in Holiday, the other house was in Dade City. Kind of comparable areas, in my opinion. But my point is, for the same amount of money, they're getting a brand new house.
Right, but the biggest difference there, just to push back, I mean, you're talking also 43 miles apart.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a difference between do you work around Dade City, Wesley
But
Chapel?
not for nothing. After I did my research, you go down just down the road here, 20 minutes to the Hudson, and they have a house in the low threes.
Brand new construction.
Hudson. Yeah, but that's only 20 minutes.
Yeah, but that's my point. You're talking Holiday and Hudson versus Dade City. So they happen to have some land over here, but not everybody has that land. You know what I mean? Because of the new, because I know which ones you're talking about by Bayonet Point.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But I guess what my point too, there is trade-offs. You know, new builds, smaller lots, homes closer together, longer driveways, longer drives to establish job centers, because you even say that in a lot of your videos.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they're not, you know, ongoing construction for months. You know,
you get used to it. I've lived in new construction.
Okay.
It sucks, but you get used to it after
Existing
a while.
homes, you know, bigger lots, mature trees, established schools and traffic patterns. You can see what 20 years of history looked like in the neighborhood of natural disasters. So there is trade-offs.
Of course there is.
Okay. But, you know, the incentives right now are pretty strong on builders. Okay, so here's what I want you to talk about, okay? All right, so, say some people, it's like, all right, I'm going to go build, I'm going to go check out a new construction, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go to a new construction site. I want you to explain why it pays to have a professional with you, okay? And I'll give you my opinion too. Why you should have an inspection. I'll take care of that, okay? And how to go about it. So what's the best way? Just take a drive and just go into a build center and go to the sales office and say, hey, I want to buy a house, go look around. What do you recommend to people?
So when you go to the build center, it's no different than you going direct to the listing agent on a resale house. The listing agent at the build center is just that. They represent the builder. They're there to facilitate the builder's product.
Yeah.
They don't care about you. Their job is to get you under contract, don't get me wrong, but you have zero representation.
Right.
And going into a large transaction such as this is dangerous without representation. You shouldn't do without you unless you know what you're doing. You really shouldn't go into a real estate transaction 100%.
I saw one of the agreements somebody was signing out. I was in a build center and I had to get keys for a home that I was inspecting, and it looked like that thick, the contract.
The contracts are completely different.
It was crazy.
Yeah, the contracts in residential, like standard residential without addendums and such, is right around 16 pages. The last build center contract I read, just the contract was like 105 pages.
Yeah, there was tags on every
tiny writing.
And tags on every page. Sign here, initial here, sign here, initial here. I mean, come on. I mean, you know, those contracts are to the benefit of the builder.
Oh, 100%. If something falls apart, there are very, very, very few caveats for you to get your deposit back. And it's a substantial deposit. It's not a standard deposit like you would in a residential. Just there's various different nuances and stuff.
The representation part of it, what do you do for, that's what I'm saying. If you hire a real estate agent to go in there, okay, on your last few deals, I know there's different laws and different rules, but who ended up paying your commissions? Okay, what did you exactly do for the people?
Oh, the builder pays, in those scenarios, the builder paid my commissions.
Okay, and then what did
Yeah.
you do for your people when it came to a new build?
So when they started shopping, that's where I started working. So I went to the build centers. I started doing the videos at the build centers. I walked the different properties. I reviewed the contracts with them. We went to the build center. I helped them with the lending, comparing lending from build center lending, which gets you all your credits, versus some of the deals that their bank was coming up. Because once you apply for a loan, you know you're going to get a ton of phone calls. We're facilitating the sale of their house.
Yeah.
Which you have to be careful because the build contracts typically have zero addendums. There's no contingency for the sale of your home.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So meaning they could care less if you sell your house or you don't sell your house. And you just don't want to put your deposit at risk in that situation.
Yeah.
And to be honest, sometimes it's a little hard to get your house inspected. I know like the celebration that we're having, they call it a celebration.
Yeah, I know.
The walkthrough. But now they're starting to allow independent inspectors to come in, but it's on that day.
Yeah, it has to be that day.
Right.
Like I just did an inspection. Actually, one of the houses I did just this week, they didn't buy the house because the house was great, but the way the land was sloped, all the water was going towards the house because they built up the house next door and not that one. So they ended up purchasing a house just around the block, which had much better lot.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
And I'll give you a story of one that happened maybe a year ago, right about now, coming up on a year, because it was about this time last year. And where the house had some damage to it. The driveway was cracked. Not like the normal cracks, but I mean like a dump truck backed up on it and it cracked the driveway.
Yeah.
So they said, okay, no problem. They repaired it. I went, because I went and did a walkthrough on the house and kind of I kept up on the construction of the house.
Sure, of course, yeah.
And then I reported that to the agent, which was like, oh, we'll get it on the punch list. That never happened.
Right.
So we're getting ready to close on the house. The seller, or the buyers rather, are upset because they've got their fascia and soffits ripped off.
Yeah.
That never got put back on, and they have this giant crack from on their brand new driveway. And so we went in. They're like, don't worry, it's going to be fixed. So I went there while they were pouring the concrete. They poured it. It was a different color concrete.
Oh my God.
So now you have a brand new house, and instead of cutting out the section and pouring a whole new piece, they just cut a square.
It's stupid.
And then they poured it and then seamed it. So now they have this random square in this brand new driveway. And we're like, okay.
Yeah.
And you know what the builder said? We repaired it.
Yeah, that's it.
And they didn't care.
Yeah, like
And I fought and fought and fought. Called corporate. That's what you're getting.
yeah, a lot of construction companies know me, and they're like, "Oh shoot, it's Jimmy." They're like the guy that doesn't like new builds.
Right. But the listing agent, right?
Yeah.
From the build center, do you think she cared?
No.
She didn't. She's not a bad person. I'm just saying her hands are tied. She works for the company. How much is she going to upset everybody? I literally had regional managers at this house. I caused such a stink.
Yeah.
But do you think the listing agent's going to do that? She's an employee.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that.
No.
And you'd be surprised how many times this actually happens, because I'm in build centers all the time and you have no recourse. They don't care. They've got you held captive.
Yeah, so here's my advice. Go to the build centers, don't sign anything, just walk through the models. They always have models, just walk through them, and then find somebody you're comfortable with. Interview a lot of real estate agents that are familiar with new constructions, okay? Because it's a totally different animal. Trust me, it's a totally different animal. And even on new construction, strongly recommend doing an inspection. I find just as many problems in new construction. I found one of them in the back light, you know, you get open the slider, you go out. There was water in the light. Okay,
Yep.
it was literally water in the light, and it was tripping the breakers.
Yeah.
You know, because of light. They didn't notice that, and 2 of the outlets weren't done properly, and they didn't hang the, you know, the air conditioning lines correctly in the attic.
No, and then we've had, how many times have we gone through walkthroughs and I found the pipe hanging out of the wall where
Yeah,
they didn't
yeah.
connect it, remember?
Yeah.
I did the video on that one.
Yeah, you did the video on that one.
And it, just those bad things. But if you don't have somebody fighting for you, you're just fighting an uphill battle.
Hire somebody, yeah.
And make sure, just as a correction, don't go to the build center without your agent.
No.
You have to go with your agent to the build center first.
Okay, so yeah, go to a build center, go there, do whatever, you know, have your representative sign up, whatever they have to sign up. You know, it's not like it's costing you anything.
Yeah, it doesn't cost you a penny.
You know, and then also just tell them up front, any house I buy, I'm going to hire an inspector. Because I'm telling you, even if they say, well, close on the house and we'll put on a paper that we're going to fix later on. It just
try to avoid that at all costs. If you're buying, yeah, that's the don't worry, we'll fix it. That's what they did once, because then it goes to a different department.
Yeah,
it goes to the warranty department.
Yeah,
and that's for small things. That's for like true warranty issues, not the fascia and the soffit are ripped off. The screws in your window weren't put in.
Oh, one of them, the
Remember?
roof, yeah, the ridge vent was blown off. I'm like, there's no ridge vent up there.
Right.
You know,
like this is the stuff that we're looking at and fighting for.
But anyways, yeah, but at the end of the day, new construction is putting a hurting on existing homes, and we'll see what happens. We'll do an update to this video. Anyways, that's today's video. I greatly appreciate you guys watching. Again, consider subscribing, and if you want to go into a build center anywhere in Florida, or pretty much anywhere in the United States, just text me or call me. My phone number is below, and watch this video right here. I picked it out for you guys, and enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.